Hey everyone, I decided to document my trip to Arizona. So I'm currently in Anderson, California. Made it from Vancouver, Washington to Anderson, which, you know, was a decent drive. We only stopped a few times. Stopped at a Shell and then a pretty nice restaurant. Well, it wasn't like fancy or anything like that. It was just like a nice country restaurant. Here's the Rabba bus station. So I'm just staying at the Motel 6. I apologize for how bad this lighting is. And check it out. I'm across the street from a mall. It's pretty cool. Like Safeway, Dollar Tree, a bunch of other ones, but mostly those two stores. They got a bit of everything here. It's pretty nice. You turn, you're going. Apparently you're going straight. No, you're fine. The person didn't have a blinker on, but I just assumed they just didn't turn their blinker on. So I started across the street and they pulled out. But she was very nice and actually apologized, which seems very un-Californian. But I mean, when you live in Washington, the only thing you hear is bad things about California. Especially because the Californians keep on invading, trying to live in Washington and jacking up our house market. So I'm in Anderson and I'm just kind of going on a walk to film this. I'm traveling with my grandfather and feel weird just we started recording in our hotel. It's pretty nice here. It's probably around 75, which compared to Washington is deathly. I know it was 80 when it was actually daylight out, and it's been twilight for, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe. When I got here it was day, and then I went swimming for maybe about half an hour, if that. And I'm just walking down a road. It's kind of a main road, but I wouldn't know if it is or not. I don't live here. I mean, I guess there's a mall off it and what appears to be a church. Quick story, I suppose. I went to Safeway to go get cereal and bowls to eat the cereal out of, because our motel doesn't have any bowls or anything like that. And then while I was there, thinking about it now, I didn't get fucking spoons when I was there. So I'll probably just get those in the morning, because fuck it. But yeah, so I got bowls and I got cereal, and then I walked back, and like halfway going back, I was like, I never got milk. But it was okay because I didn't really have hands to carry the milk. And so I went back and got milk. And the smallest thing they had was a quart of milk, so that kind of sucked. It wasn't even resealable containers either. But I went and got a quart of milk and then came back. And as I was coming back, walked by my first cashier as he was going and pumping his gas at the Safeway gas station. Fun fact, there's a dairy named Anderson Dairy in my city. I'll see you guys in the next city. Quick correction, just checked, it's 86. You know, apparently I'm just adapted to all weathers. I can be in, I can't even remember the name of the town. This really cold ass town in northern Washington. It's a dramatic town. Basically it's like Hallmark. If you were to go to real life Hallmark, it'd be this town. I forget what it's called. Leavenworth, Washington. Anyway, so I can be there like -6, just kidding. It was like 9 degrees outside, and I was outside wearing sweatpants and a long sleeve shirt, and I mean, at the time I was like dying of heat stroke and I was literally steaming outside, but I stood outside for like a half an hour at 7 degrees out and snow everywhere. Went to Hawaii, where it's like 90 constantly and deathly humid. It only rains for like 5 seconds at noon every day. And I did okay there. I died for quite a while, but you know, once I got used to just wearing a regular like Hawaiian shirt, and then I don't remember if I ever wore shorts or if I just continued to wear my sweatpants that I religiously wear, but you know, got used to that. Now I'm to 86 outside and I'm wearing shorts, which is practically against my religion, as anyone who knows me would say. And then I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt and my jacket with my sleeves rolled up and not wearing a bandana. Again, practically violating my religion. But yeah, I'm fine in 86. However, it's also so much drier here. Like, yeah, it's hot, but it's a dry heat, which is so much better than Hawaii. Oh my gosh, I died in Hawaii. It's horrible there. Well, I mean, it's lovely, but it's horrible. You know, if you're living in the water, like in the ocean, then Hawaii's great. So, which is what most Hawaiians do. So, how you know why? It's because the heat's so bad there. No, you shall be in this, Dean.
Hi.
This is my Jew.
Hi, I'm Jewish. That's all you need to know.
He's really not, though. He's actually not Jewish.
I'm Jewish.
Yeah, he's Jewish. I'm pretty sure the sidewalk ends up here.
That's cool.
I think we're fucked.
We can just walk across the freeway, right?
Yeah, you know. As our parents always taught us to do.
We're also not going to look both ways, as instructed.
As instructed. That's actually the proper protocol. If you look both ways, you'll die, because it gives them more time to hit you. But if you just run for it, you'll be fine, because, you know, they're like weeping angels, but the opposite, where if you look at them, they can move.
What you see can't hurt you.
Yeah.
I mean, what you can't see can't hurt you.
Yeah, there you go. This is the Jew of many names. El Jubacabra.
Douchebag.
Douchebag. Jewmungus, yeah.
Jewmungus what?
Junicorn.
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca, that's another good one.
Scooby-Jew.
I haven't heard Scooby-Jew before, that's a good one. Yabba Dabba Jew. I'm quite certain they can't hear any of this.
Probably not, because cars are loud.
I'm in California now. Yeah! Out of Los Angeles. The Angels. Have you heard of that sports ball team? The sports ball team, the Los Angeles Angels.
Goal!
The
Sorry, I hate you.
the Angels. Yeah, the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels.
The Los Angeles Angels, yes.
Oh yeah, the Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah.
The Angels.
Well,
Oh shit, there is a fucking crosswalk here. Or is there? It's like a fucking access ramp we gotta walk down. I would have parkoured, but I'm holding a phone and soda. Walk sign is off. Yeah. The walk signs where he lives, cause they go and yell the on part. So they go, walk sign is on!
It's just one particular sign. That shit's fucking cursed.
So it's just the one crosswalk just fucking screams at you. They should fucking record that though. Like, see how many people fucking jump at it.
It's not that loud, it's just noticeably more aggressive.
You better cross the street, motherfucker. I fucking sent a signal for this. Anyway, yeah, so this is my Jew. Jewmungus, Junicorn, El Jubacabra.
Big Jew. Actually,
Scoop.
I'm not Big Jew.
Scooby-Jew, apparently.
Scooby-Jew, yeah. Just for a short while, Scooby-Jew. Also, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. That's a good one.
That was a good one, yeah.
Yeah, and anytime he leaves, he has to say, I bid you a Jew.
Oh, yeah.
Or we say that to him.
That in ages.
I know. Because the server used to say it for you, thanks to the plugin I made.
The Welcome Back Whack plugin?
Yeah. Well, please, it was WB Whack.
Yeah, okay.
It was all one word, so you couldn't tell the abbreviation, but yeah, it was the Welcome Back Whack plugin. It was a beautiful plugin. Yeah. It said, Oy vey anytime you joined, I bid you a Jew whenever you left. And then, what did it say for, I think it said, what's up, eh?
Oh, for David?
Yeah, for David.
I have no idea.
And then it said, see you hosers whenever you left.
Yeah.
I don't think it said anything for me when I joined, but it said see you in 6,000 when I left.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have an entrance thing.
Did it say anything for when Wavy left? I know when you would join, it would say welcome back Whack, even though you would like never join, but it was still in there. Did it say anything when you left?
I'd have to check. I still have the source code.
Okay.
But I don't think it did. Anyway, so I'm in Corona now.
Yeah.
I was in fucking... Oh god, the fucking town was named after the dairy in my fucking thing and I don't remember the name of it. Anderson. I was in Anderson. Now I'm in Corona. He's from Irvine. Wait, Dean. Wait. In your electric car.
What?
The guy with his electric car.
It's a hybrid.
No. Close enough.
Yeah. They were on their phone.
Good job.
Yeah.
We straight up, there was a highway patrol officer. He was just on his bike at the gas station, and we had to like walk up to him and be like, hey, what's the hands-free laws here? Like, when can we use our phone when driving? And be like, it just has to be hands-free, doesn't matter how.
Yeah.
He's like, so there's no exceptions with hearing aids, because apparently in Washington State, if you have Bluetooth hearing aids, you still can't use that for whatever fucking reason.
Oh.
Probably because it makes it so that way your hearing aids don't work as hearing aids.
Yeah.
But granted, deaf people are allowed to drive cars, so.
Yeah.
So there's been many stories with Dean here,
Yeah.
and I'm sure in time all of them will be sent. But yeah, so I just wanted to check in to say that now I'm in Corona.
Yeah.
Next stop, Arizona. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is Dean and David. I beat you. I got here
Fuck
first.
David.
Here, say that to the camera.
Get fuck David.
There we go. No, it wasn't ADR. Hey everybody. So, in 2 days' time, I made it to Arizona. As you can see by the fact that it looks like I'm in a mesa. And all the palm trees, basically just the architecture. I am in Yuma. And it turns out that in Yuma, they do not have sidewalks. They have gravel pathways with brief moments of concrete and stone. It's an interesting way to make a flagpole pop. Here's a for sale gravel lot. Apparently that's actually pretty common for this neighborhood. People that just go and buy a gravel lot and put their motorhomes on it. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's 94 degrees out. It was 102 earlier today, although I heard from the locals that the highest it was 104. We actually, let's avoid the cactus. We actually have a house out here, and you know, I go to use the bathroom, and there's 2 dead cockroaches in the toilet, so that was fun. Apparently, in Arizona, if you leave a house unkept for so long, the water in the pipes evaporate, and so it makes it so that way cockroaches and things like that can go and crawl up your pipes. So they'll crawl up your sink and they'll crawl up your toilets. The people we bought this house from, you know, they live here, so they knew that, and they went and put you are supposed to put either sandbags or bags of water over any like kind of plumbing type hole to cover it up, to make it so things can't crawl up it. And so they had done that. You know, I opened up the toilet and I was like, what the fuck, is there a bag of water in here? And I opened it up and there's fucking 2 dead cockroaches floating around in the toilet. And I was like, oh, well, that's nice. It is deathly. I've been here for 6 hours, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but in 6 hours I have learned 2 things. 1, cockroaches are sketchy how quick they move. Like, holy shit. There's only 1 alive one in the house, and it got away before we could kill it. But it like came down from the cabinet, down the wall, hid like underneath a picture, and then I showed my grandpa where it was, and he took out the picture, kind of ran around, got onto the floor, and tried to like hide behind my grandfather's foot. And hey, this is actually brick. That's cool. Well, that's a sidewalk. Anyway, and then so it ran down and then crawled into like the Lazy Susan on the ground level, and we lost it. But holy shit, does that thing move. And then the second thing I learned was it's really annoying having a cactus stuck to the bottom of your shoe. There's a flagpole at our property, and I was checking to see if there's an evening light, because, you know, if you're not from America, there's a rule that, well, it's a law technically, that you have to have a light on the American flag at all times. So if it is not sunlight outside, then you need to have an external light on it. But it has to be like a designated light, so it can't just be like a street light. So we were looking to see if there was one at this house, and there's not, but there's an outlet for one that you can install later and set it up on a timer. But yeah, so while I was looking out there, I'd stepped on a part of a tree or a cactus or something that had fallen off, and I was walking around, and I generally walk pretty quietly. I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell right now because I'm on gravel and it's probably too windy for you to be able to hear it anyway. Holy shit, is it annoying. Because it's just like, it's a constant scrape. as you're walking, no matter what you do. So I literally had to go into the garage next to my brand new Lamborghini and take a pair of pliers to pull the thorn out of my shoe. I like kind of scraped it off, like most of it, but there was just like the one thorn left, which was grinding, and I'm sure it would have scratched up my floors, so I had to go and take a pair of pliers to it. But anyway, so those are the 2 things I learned. Cockroaches are creepy for how quick they move, and then thorns in your shoes suck. Also, it's hot as fuck here. That's another thing. That's all there really is about Arizona. It's hot as fuck. Cockroaches are weird. Cactuses suck. Oh, and there's no sidewalks. It's just gravel. This one has like kind of like a retaining wall though. You have to like step up into the gravel. See? Yeah, I got here in 2 days' time from Washington. Just got here on the 7th, and I fly back on the 12th. Fly from Yuma Airport. I apologize for all the wind. Walked into a tumbleweed. I fly back from Yuma to Phoenix, and then from Phoenix to Portland, and then from there I walk. Just kidding, I get picked up. Yeah, I'm not gonna walk to Washington from PDX. No, thank you. But yeah. So I'll probably make daily videos here, probably on the same strip of me just talking about what I worked on with the house today. Today we went and bought shit to set up the TV on local stations, because they only had a satellite dish on there, but we don't have DirecTV subscription anymore. Or actually, I don't think we ever did. So we had to buy an antenna, because it turns out there's specific electrical equipment inside satellite dish that make it so that way you cannot use them to pick up local frequencies. So good job. Anyway, so we just bought one for like $30 from Walmart, and we'll probably be setting that up tomorrow. I thought we were going to set it up today, but I guess not. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey everyone. So, if you can't tell, I just woke up. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was up until 3 last night. I wasn't able to record last night though, because mostly I just didn't have an opportunity to do it. But I thought that I would record this morning everything I did yesterday. So, you can actually see it up here. So, yesterday, I threw that turbine off the roof, and that, those cinder blocks, and that satellite dish. I threw all that off the roof. So, and then we went and put up a TV antenna. A lot of people in my area don't have that, but yeah. Anyway, so that's basically all I did yesterday. Oh, I had my first A&W yesterday though, which was pretty good. So yeah, so far on this trip I've had my first In-N-Out, my first A&W, the first cockroach. Oh, I got attacked by a bush yesterday. That's another thing that happened. My family thought it was an aloe vera plant, but I don't think it is, because I looked up what they look like, and it doesn't seem like an aloe vera plant. And then my grandfather said he thought it was called an aloe. Imagine like a palm tree, but a bush, and the leaves are kind of like a U type thing. It's almost like a boat, and it's real long, and then the end of it has a thorn like that big. Now I was just walking past it, thinking it was just a bush. I brushed my leg against it, and like the thorn on the end of that thing went straight into the side of my leg, and it was not fun. It went like straight into the side of my chin. Yeah, it hurt a lot. So, and it was really funny too, because there's like this tree. There's one of them actually out here. I can show you. That tree out there. I don't know how well you can see that. But that tree has a
ton of thorns on it. It's basically like 100% thorns. Yeah, it has like a thorn like every inch of that tree. And anyway, I got one of those thorns that had fallen off the tree stuck in my shoe the first night I was here, the first day. But yeah, so I avoided that with like a wide berth around that, and then took a wide berth around the cactus, only to be like, yeah, that's just a bush, and then walk into that and then have it stab me in the leg. So things are deadly here. I don't know why people live here with like 104 and everything that you could eat from wants to kill you. I mean, they have fruit trees here too. We have 3 fruit trees, but those are the only non-deadly to human trees that we have in this entire place. And there's a decent amount of wildlife here, you know, for a desert. Well, there's also some palm trees, but I'm sure that they're adapted some way to hurt people. I just don't walk near enough to them for that to happen. Anyway, so that was my yesterday. We'll see what happens today. Oh, I also went to Home Depot to buy a new turbine. I had to put new locks for the house to replace all the locks. So, I'll be doing that today. Yeah. Oh, I also did parkour, which I took video of that, so that's probably in the video.
Some good old Arizona parkour. You know, walking up to this, it looked like I could make it, but no, I don't think I can make that. I think that might be a bit too far. Definitely make it from here to there though. Jump down that way. That wouldn't be too awful of a way to get down. It'd probably be better from those lower ledges, but still.
You probably know that already. But yeah, anyway. I will see you guys tonight.
Alright, time to go back to the security screening. And my headphones happen to have a metal pipe in them to hold them together because they're, you know, I use them for everything. So we'll see how this goes. So it would appear that their security checkpoint is actually closed until closer to my flight departure time. So that's interesting. Okay, so I'm now in Phoenix. That light is very bright behind me. I apologize. I got like 3 hours until my next flight. And I'm not even in the right gate. I'm in the right terminal, but I'm at gate B14. And my gate was super crowded and there was nowhere to keep my phone. And my phone has my boarding pass, so since there was nowhere to plug in my phone, I just started walking, and I'm now at gate A30, and A30 is like practically empty, so I could sit somewhere where there's actually an outlet. I'm just hanging out at A30. You can actually see it kinda way off in the distance over there, but that's where my gate is. It's just down the hall and take a couple lefts. It's not too far, but I got an alarm set for 19:30 because my flight's for 20:30, so that'll give me enough time to walk over there, and hopefully I can charge my phone over here. I figure while I'm here I'll talk about some of the things that I did while I was gone. We lifted up one of those, an industrial air conditioning machine, and we had to go and take a piece of plywood and a jack up there to lift it up because it was like 2 tons, and then put some steel bars underneath it to help keep it up, because like it was sitting on a steel frame but it was like sliding off the frame, so we had to get like some steel bars to put on the corner for them to sit on, which like bent these steel bars that were like 1/8 inch thick maybe, but yeah, it was heavy. But we had to take all that up there and then throw it off the roof again. Well, we didn't throw the jack off. I threw off the thing of plywood, made it land just right so that way it didn't break the plywood or the house. Yeah, and then I brought down the jack. And we also cleaned basically the entire house. Got a bunch of keys duplicated and replaced a bunch of locks. Replaced outlets outside so that way they were GFI, which is basically that type of outlet you have in your bathroom that causes it to switch off at the outlet if there's a short. I went to a lot of restaurants for the first time, like Chick-fil-A and A&W. I saw Jersey Mike's. I didn't get to go in though. Sorry about that. Got a call from my mate Bars. I wanted to try a Jersey Mike's while I was down south, and I wasn't able to. I was walking over to McDonald's to get something to eat, and as I was walking back with my food, I was like, oh shit, there's a Jersey Mike's. I totally could have gotten to eat there. That's a damn shame. I could have still walked inside and just been like, oh, the Jersey Mike's, but I didn't. Anyway, I was having to watch the road to see if my ride was there. So, quick story. I don't remember if I was able to record the footage saying that or not, but my when I was recording me walking over to the security checkpoint was closed. Such a small airport that the security checkpoint isn't open before like an hour before the flight. So I'm just in this like small airport that's basically just like it's 2 floors, but it's like one hallway, and then like part of the hallway is like separated by glass, which is access to the gates, and they don't even have like the ramps, like those types of ramps. It's just, you just walk out onto the tarmac. I actually got footage of this, so you know. But yeah, you just walk out onto the tarmac and then climb up a ramp of the plane. It was the first time I've ever done that too. But so I got a interesting story. So these headphones are broken, and I have I'm sorry if that was loud, me touching these. I don't know if you can tell, but I got electrical tape all up and down the side, and underneath that electrical tape is a copper pipe that has been hammered down. Yeah, so could totally be like sharpened or something like that on the edge, because this is just electrical tape, you can just unwrap that. I went and took it by security though, and they didn't give a single shit. So if ever you need to go and sneak on a razor blade, just put it in electrical tape on your Beats headphones that are broken. It'll be good to go. You know, you just gotta spend $100 on Beats, and then find the will to break them, and find the will to get like an electric or a copper pipe. Pay for that, however much that is. It's probably like $5 to get the size. Buy an anvil, which the one I used was very, very small, was about $30. Then get a ball peen hammer, probably about $10. Hammer it down, buy a razor blade. I don't know how much that'd be, maybe $5. Oh, and then get electrical tape, which is like $10. There you go. You got a way to get past the TSA. So, decent amount of money. But hey, can't put a price on terrorism. Oh, I forgot. So, my pilot fucking sped to get over here because I was supposed to be on the plane. It was supposed to be a 58-minute flight according to my boarding pass. And we got here in 30 minutes. Like, I shit you not. The flight attendants were like, all right, welcome to Phoenix. We'll be landing soon. Before the pilot even went and put up the, what are they called? The takeoff flaps. They called it real early though, because it was like another 15 20 minutes before we actually landed after they said that. I don't know why they said it so early. But I was like, oh man, I'm not supposed to land until what was it? 17:58, I think. That's when I was supposed to land? Yeah. Or no. Yeah. 17 something. Anyway, we got here in like a half an hour as opposed to the 58 minutes they said that the flight was going to be. So I was like, what? So I will see you guys in PDX, where it'll fucking be 63 degrees when I land, because I'm supposed to land at 11 o'clock at night, or 2300 for me, and for anyone else who uses 24-hour. But yeah, I'm supposed to land at like 2306, I think. Ooh, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice and 63 there, because you know, where I'm from, the nights, they're like 60 to 50 degrees. Over here, the nights are like 70 to 80. Well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we're kind of in the cold season for Arizona, and they were like at 88 degrees while I was here, so they're probably actually 80 to 90 degree nights, now that I think about it. Maybe even all the way up to 100 degrees, because it seems to me that there's generally a 20 degrees cooling, and I guess it gets all the way up to 120, so I guess it's like 80 to 100 nights here. But man, am I gonna be cold when I get to PDX, but that is okay. I can deal with the cold. I can't deal with the heat. The RB an armyman, I believe. I think that's who he was. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really tell. He's definitely wearing camo. It looked like an army uniform.
We're now boarding Group 1 customers and U.S. military personnel with active military identification to board Flight 1107 to Portland through the priority lane.
Okay, so I am finally back from Arizona, and man, is it nice to be in the cool again. I don't have to worry about it being 106 today, because it's only 70 today, I assume, because it's 70 every day in Southwest Washington. So it turns out, when I landed, I didn't record any of it because my phone was too low on battery, but when I went and landed at PDX, my gate, well, I shouldn't say my gate, the gate that the plane was supposed to pull into was taken by another plane that was having mechanical issues and therefore couldn't leave the gate. And so we were sitting on the taxi line outside of our gate for probably about 15-20 minutes until they said that they were just going to go and try a different gate. Charlie 17 is what I believe that they said. And yes, they did say Charlie because they are a pilot. Good old International Phonetic System. But yes, we pulled into that gate instead after another 20 minutes. So after I landed at 11:06, I was on the tarmac, or on the taxi line, for 40 minutes. Maybe a bit longer, you know, because it was 40 minutes until they actually started letting us pull in. It was so long My phone was at 1% battery the entire time I was stuck on the tarmac. So I actually had to go and borrow the girl I was sitting next to, her charger, or not a charger, but like a portable battery pack, which, you know, the ones that the lithium ion packs that you go and charge up before you leave, and then they have a USB port on them, so that way you can charge your devices with them. I had to go and borrow that from her. She was a super chill lady. But yeah, so I had to borrow it finally to go and call my grandmother, who was my ride from PDX, and being like, yeah, so she's like, where are you? And I was like, oh, I've been sitting on the taxi line for 40 minutes. And she's like, seriously? She thought originally that I meant that I was outside by the taxis that leave the airport. And for those of you who don't know, a taxi line is that yellow line on the airport that the planes use. But yeah, that's what a taxi line is. That's what I meant. She thought I meant that I was just waiting by the taxis forever. And I was like, no, I'm still in the plane. And I have been for 40 minutes. And she's like, well, why has your phone been off? And I was like, well, it hasn't been off. It's just been dead. Been on airplane mode to save its life. And I said, but I finally asked the person next to me for her charger because we were sitting on the tarmac for so long. And as I was having this conversation with her, the pilot, I think his last name was Jones. I shouldn't say the pilot because I know how much co-pilots will get offended from me saying that. The captain of the plane came on and said that their gate has finally been cleared and that they're pulling in. And not even the first gate, the second gate had finally been cleared. We had been waiting for 20 minutes for the gate that they switched to open up. In a sense, not only was I stuck in a 3-hour layover at Phoenix, but I was also stuck in a 40-minute layover at PDX just because I couldn't get off the plane. Like, as soon as they would have let me off, I would have been fine, but no, I was stuck on that plane forever. So that was fun. She was telling me when she thought I was at the taxi, she was like, I've been in long-term parking for a while. And I was like, yep, that's a good place to be. Because again, I didn't realize what she thought I meant. I was like, yeah, long-term parking, that's the proper place to be at right now. Because man, have I been here for a while. And, you know, there was a bunch of people that were calling, just totally complaining. And I was like, it's not the captain's fault. I mean, and they were complaining within like the first 20 minutes too, before they even said, oh, we're going to try another gate. You know, they just come on and was like, oh yeah, no, there's technical difficulties with the plane. And me have gone through science of flight school, I'm like, okay, what could be wrong with the plane and the gate? Okay. The worst case scenario, well, the only thing that could prevent it from getting out of the gate is broken engines, right? The plane will not start. And then I went and thought, well, from my experience from when I ran a simulation with F-15s, how long did it take to fix an engine issue? And I was like, to my recollection, it took a half an hour if it was easy to fix. And if it wasn't, it could take like an hour or two, depending on what other things that they needed to get done. And if they needed to do a servicing on top of that, that's like an extra 40 minutes. So I was like, we very well could be here for a while, depending on how long they've been working on this plane since I've gotten here. Oh, and on top of that, I also figured that troubleshooting an issue, if you didn't know what was wrong, troubleshooting the issue takes about 2 to 3 hours. And then once you identify what the issue is, that can take the half an hour to fix it. And I was like, I got no idea how long these people have been in this port, or in this gate. I was like, we could be here for 3 hours if they don't change our gate. And I straight up I got a friend that works at PDX. I don't remember what airliner she works for, airline she works for. But she is an aircraft mechanic. And I'm pretty sure she's a plane mechanic, not a helicopter mechanic. But I almost like went and called her out of the blue. I haven't talked to this person in over a year. And I straight up almost called her and being like, hey, so I'm at gate whatever with American Airlines. Apparently the plane that's in my gate is having mechanical issues.
could you maybe look and see how long those mechanical issues might be for? I mean, if you're not allowed to tell me that, can you at least tell me what the issue is with the plane? Just so that way I can get an estimation from, you know, my mechanical knowledge from F-15 simulations. Thanks, Chief. But I didn't call her. It would have been extremely awkward for many reasons. But at least they left the engines on, so I had air conditioning the entire time. Because I don't know if you know this about planes, but if you turn off the engines, you no longer have AC. So, while I was at Phoenix, since I wasn't, you know, I only recorded right when I got there. And, well, not right when I got there, but pretty soon after I got there. Basically, the entire time, all I was doing was exploring the plant, or the terminal. And, you know, there wasn't really much to do, honestly. I mean, there was honestly a lot to do there. Like, an excessive amount of things to do. But I didn't have any money that I was comfortable spending. So, I couldn't go to the spa, and I couldn't go eat dinner at, like, the McDonald's, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, other, like, country pizza joints, regular pizza joints, all these different places that I had never heard of before. Another thing that was really weird was going between different gates. The architecture difference was crazy. Like, A, B, and C pretty much all looked the same in Phoenix. But then you go into D gate, well, D gates, and it's a completely different place. The roofs are like super tall, and if I remember right, they were like all like glass ceilings, so like all of it was like sunlight coming in, but not like in a way that made the room super hot, but like just in a place where it was like super wide open, and you know, there was much more room there. The flooring was all fancy, and all the places looked nicer, and there was like a cafe there, and yeah, it was ran by Southwestern, I believe, as opposed to, I know Alpha and Bravo were run by American Airlines, so maybe that's the difference, is the service, or the airline that was going through there. But yeah, no, I didn't really do much. I went and just walked around forever, thanked 2 military personnel for their service, bought a bottle of water, and I saw this girl that was crying. I don't know, maybe she was like a teenager. And someone who I only can assume was her mom was like giving her a side hug, being like, oh, it'll be okay, as they were like walking to their next thing. And I was just like, hey, I hope you have a good day, or I said, hey, I hope the rest of your day's better. That's what I said to her. And then the mom kind of like looked back as they were walking past me. They're like, and I didn't have my glasses on, because I had my sunglasses on. I was going to mention this later, but I had my sunglasses on through like that entire recording at Phoenix. Not because of the fact that it was Phoenix, but because of the fact I actually had a horrible migraine, and I still have it. Well, I don't really have a migraine anymore. It's just I still have a headache, and but it's only when I look that way, and without turning my head. If I just like point that way. Ow. So yeah, I didn't have my sunglasses on, or I didn't have my sunglasses on. I didn't have my glasses on, so I have no idea if when she looked back at me, if it was like, were you talking to me, or if it was how dare you talk to my daughter who is upset right now, even though you are just genuinely trying to wish her a good day and are a psychology student and generally speaking want everybody to be happy in the world. You damn future counselor, you, going for your master's in counseling eventually. Yeah, so I don't know. She very well could have just been like, it looked like she was just like, were you talking to us? I'm not sure. Even though I like did a thing to her. I'm not sure if she was angry at me for that or not. And she very well could have been angry, because I did kind of say it loudly, because I'm used to projecting myself to any stranger because of ROTC. That's just something that they teach you, is you fucking project about everything. You know, if you're saying something and you're not like in a huddle, you project. And even if you are in a huddle, sometimes you have to project. She very well could have been like, why the fuck are you bringing attention to my daughter? Shut the fuck up. That very well could have been a reaction. And if one day the girl that was crying sees this, and so does the mom. If that was what that was, I apologize. It is just habit for me to project, and obviously I'm not gonna go up to you in an airport and be like, I hope you have a good day, like totally confront you and then walk away, because that's fucking creepy. So it's a little bit easier in passing. One, because even if you do consider it creepy, I'm like walking and I can just continue walking. What are you gonna do about it? Just look back at me like you did. So while I was actually in Arizona, I mostly just did work around the house. I also did some schoolwork. And while I was there, I ran into a red box. But it wasn't a red box that like you've ever seen before, it was a blue box. Straight up said red box, and the sign that held, like the metal container thing that held the sign that said red box was red. Literally everything else, the actual box itself, little box on the side of it that like shows all the movies and games and stuff that are in there, all that was blue, 100%. I'm like, why? I mean, it was, to my recollection, it was in a Walmart. Yeah, it was in a Walmart. Bless you, Harley. So it makes sense that it would be blue, but I have been to a fair share of Walmarts. Not that I shop at Walmart, but I've been to them. I've never seen a blue red box in there before. I've never seen a blue box. Yeah, while I was at Yuma, I also went and got a view of like what it looked like on top of the building, because I was on top of a couple buildings. So I got a view of one of them, what it all looked like, and basically a panorama shot. I mean, I'm doing hand motions, and right now you're looking at it. But same building that I was doing the parkour on. I wasn't really doing parkour, but like I was just doing faults and stuff like that, landing as silently as possible, because you know I was on someone's roof. Another thing that I did when I was in Arizona was get a ton of nature shots. Although, I will admit, not all of it was in Arizona. A lot of it was in California. And I also got a cool video of me entering one of the bigger cities. And I think it was LA, but I'm not sure. Any of you Californians can tell me where that was exactly. Yeah, the hottest I ever saw it there in Arizona was 114 degrees, which was fucking crazy. And something cool that I actually saw in Arizona, there was this this sports club. This is something that totally only Washingtonians would care about. Well, for the most part. While I was in Arizona, I was going to get pizza, and this place next door had a giant Seahawks logo and had like a 12th man thing, and I saw that, and me and my grandpa were like, what? Why is this here? Like, we're both Seahawks fans because, you know, we're from Washington, but we're like, why is this here in Arizona? And we were like both kind of looking at it and weren't really saying anything. We just kind of knew what each other were thinking. And I was like, hey, it looks like we found the Washington State Embassy in Arizona. And my grandpa just started laughing. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for being in Yuma specifically. But once I got to the airport, the USO actually let me hang out with them, which is pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, the USO is an organization for military. Basically, is what they do is they go overseas for concerts or like shows and stuff like that. You know, just raise the spirits of the troops type things. But then one of the things that they do in the U.S. is in almost every single airport, there is a USO room that at any point a service member can go into those rooms and sleep, hang out, food, super comfortable chairs, water, things like that. And they're generally pretty nice. I've been in quite a few since ROTC. Basically, I was in my Air Force PT shorts because I'm in Air Force pre-processing, and I was in Air Force JROTC for 4 years, so they're my PTs from that. And it's really funny because my Army friend was making fun of me, and he was like, what do you have PTs for? And I was like, what? They're GI, they were issued to me, I can wear them. And he goes, yeah, the government should have taken them back. And I was like,
why is the government going to take back my PTs? Nobody wants, they're not just going to go and be like, yeah, I'll just take those things you worked out for super hard every week. If not, you know, more than that. Also went and like swam in a bunch, so God knows you weren't wearing your underwear in them. We're just going to go and wash those real quick, maybe throw a bit of bleach on them, and then we'll just give them to the next guy. Yeah, it's not going to fucking happen. You get to keep your PTs. In JROTC, they take back every single uniform they give you, except for your PTs. But I was kind of just hanging out there, and I was like, these are my people, but I'm not a member of the Air Force yet. I will be soon, if all goes according to plan, but I cannot enter yet. And then I just had a question about the security checkpoint, because I talked about it before, so not to repeat myself, but the security checkpoint was closed until an hour before boarding. And so I didn't know that. It was just like, the security checkpoint's closed. How the fuck else am I supposed to get behind this glass? So I was like, well, the USO, they're always super nice people, so I will just go in and ask one of the USO staff real quick, and then I'll pop back out. And as I'm going and asking them, and she's going and like pulling up... You okay, Harley? As she's going and pulling up the schedule to tell me when security is supposed to open, I see a Patriot Guard Rider brochure on the USO's desk. And I'm a member of the Patriot Guard Riders, so I was like, hey, are PGR allowed in here? She was like, PGR? And I was like, yeah, the Patriot Guard Riders. And I picked up the brochure and I showed it to her. And she was like, oh, I've just never heard them referred to that as before. And I was like, yeah, so are they allowed in here? And she goes, yeah. She goes, honestly, if you're just supportive of the military, you can hang on here, but yeah, PGR are totally welcome. And I was like, well, I'm a PGR, and I'm Air Force pre-processing, so is it alright if I hang out with you guys? And she's like, yeah, well, come on in. And so she's like, just sign in right there. And I go to sign in, and it was like, rank and unit. And I was like, what do you want me to put for my rank? And she's like, just put PGR. And I was like, alright, PGR, unit, Southwest Washington. Good. If she didn't have an answer, I probably would have just put cadet captain and then put WA952 grad for my unit, but you know, man, I missed my captain rank. I still got it technically. But yeah, so I hung out with them and got a bunch of pictures. Well, I didn't get a bunch of pictures, but I got a video of like the room, and I got a picture of one of their challenge coins, and they had a computer in there for just any service member to be able to use the internet on a, you know, without using data or whatever while they're there. And it was open to MSN already, just to be like, hey, we have internet. And the advertisement on MSN was join the army, and I was just like, good job. This is literally only allowed for military members and like people that are in organizations that support the military, and you're going and like trying to recruit people in the military. It's like, I think the military's already gotten their wish for all the people in the room. But yeah, no, they were like super awesome. They were like offering me a bunch of stuff. They're like, here, have some water, have some cookies, have some food. There's stuff in the fridge. And I'm like, no, I can't have it. Just because I'm pre-processing and just because I'm PGR doesn't mean I'm active duty. I'm not allowed to eat that. It's a no-no. Can't do it. And she was like, no, it's fine. And I was like, woman, can't. Morals. Like, I was like, I get that you are very, like, glad for the service that PGR does and stuff like that. And I get that I'm Air Force pre-processing. Which, you know, a lot of the time when you tell people, oh yeah, I'm Air Force pre-processing, they're like, oh, well, thank you for the service you're going to do. It's also a huge adjustment for any ROTC cadet, and if any ROTC cadets are watching this, they probably understand the struggle, where for you are trained that if somebody thanks you for your service, you tell them no. Because ROTC are not service members. Well, JROTC are not service members, and they are not guaranteed to be service members. We wear a military uniform that is nearly indistinguishable from a regular uniform because we get it from the same place. Ours just has different patches on it. If somebody doesn't know about the military and they see their chest patches, they're just gonna be like, yeah, that's just where their unit patches are. They're just on their chest as opposed to on their arms or wherever else. Air Force doesn't even have unit patches, to my knowledge. I don't think we do. Just name tape, Air Force, rank on both shoulders. Unless you're an officer, then they're there. Ours just says name, and then it just says AFJ or ROTC, and then it has our unit patches right there in our chest. And so if somebody doesn't know the difference, they're gonna walk up to you and be like, "Oh, thank you for your service," and they're gonna like try and buy you a meal or some shit, and you're like, "No, you can't do that. That's illegal. I'm sorry. You can't buy me a meal. I'm not military. I'm JROTC. I only serve the community." Because, you know, the good old Air Force JROTC mission statement, develop citizens to character dedicated to serving your nation and community. Yes, I still know that even after a year. And then you really get thrown for a fucking loop when somebody knows you're JROTC and they thank you for your service anyway. Like, I had it one time where a guy walked up to me and he goes, "Thank you," and he goes and shakes my hand, and I was like, no, I'm just JROTC, I'm not active duty military. And he goes, "I know." I was like, "What?" And I was like, "But I'm not active duty. Like, I'm not in the military. I'm JROTC. I'm just a cadet. I'm in high school." And he goes, "I know that." And I was like, "Then why are you thanking me?" And he goes, "Thank you for your interest." I was like, "What?" And he was like, "You support the military, so thank you." And I was like, this guy used to be in the army or something, and I'm just like, "What? I've never been thanked properly for an actual thing that I do before." Well, that's not true. But I've never been thanked in such a way where it's like I actually have an opportunity to respond and feel obligated to respond. I have it all the time where I'm like walking down the street in a parade or whatever. I say walking, marching. The Air Force marching is basically walking. Most airmen will tell you that. Marching down the street or walking down the street with a group of cadets and for whatever community service event, and they know you're JROTC and they go, "Thank you, cadets." And so, other than those people, this is the only time that I've ever been thanked when they knew what I did. And it was weird, and I had no idea how to take it. Nowadays, when people are thanking you for, like, the future service you're going to commit, or thanking you for being PGR and supporting the military, because I know that a lot of military appreciate PGR, and a lot of military families do as well, because we do welcome home missions, we do escorts, and legally we can't say that because they're not, we technically don't have an escort license, and we don't break traffic signals and stuff like that. We just have a vehicle formation that obeys all traffic laws and just has our flashers and yellow lights on at all times as we go and take the military member to their destination. But it's not an escort. Nope. On a more serious note, we do a lot of funerals and stuff like that too, and the less happy kind of welcome home, if you catch my drift. A lot of people will go and thank PGR members too. That's actually how I got into the PGR, was I thanked a PGR member. So the USO was super awesome for letting me hang out with them. I avoided murder by my friend in the army because I called him in Phoenix and was like, "Yo, does it bug you that the USO let me hang out with them?" And he goes, "Well, what'd you do there?" And I was like, "I just sat in one of the chairs, watched TV." But he was like, "Did you go and eat anything there?" And he was like, "What'd you do there?" I was like, "Yeah, I just sat there, watched TV, and drank a bunch of water." And he's like, "So you didn't eat anything?" And I was like, "No, they were trying to give me a shit ton of cookies and food and shit like that." But I was like, no, I'll just have water. So I drank 2 or 3 bottles of water. Because holy shit, you have to drink constantly in Arizona. Anyway. And he was like, good. I do not need to kill you. My legs slid, as you could probably tell. The only thing even worth noting now, the only other thing, basically is what I'm doing right now, is just talking about shit for my B-roll so I can actually use it. But, there was an in-flight radio on my Phoenix to PDX flight, which was weird, and I don't even know if it was a radio. Thank you guys for watching my probably hour-long documentary on Arizona, my Arizona trip. It was fun. I would never do it again. That's probably not true, But holy shit, if I do, I'm going to do it with somebody that will use the air conditioning at night. And yeah. So thank you guys for watching through this entire hour-long video. I'm sure it was extremely boring at points. And hopefully there will be a let's stream together this Tuesday coming out. And maybe some other videos too. So thank you everyone for watching.